Hi everyone, this is Sharon, and today I wanted to share with you a video tutorial of a scrapbook page layout that I'm about to make. And the paper collection that I will be using for this tutorial is the Basic Grey Carte Postale. That's how it's spelled right there. By the time you watch this video, you should be able to find these at your store, or it should be shipping soon to your store. So it's a really nice collection by Basic Grey, and it has a travel theme, so there's a lot of travel graphics and a lot of fun colors. So I'm going to be using those. I'm going to be using a variety of Glue Dot products. I have a few in here. I'll be sharing exactly what I use as I use them. And also some Basic Grey rubber stamps, as well as some Lindy Stampin' products. If you're coming in to my video or to my channel through the blog, hi, welcome. I hope you stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the tutorial. my layout so far doesn't have a lot of color, so I'm going to cut out some of the graphics from the paper. Like I showed you before, that's why I was going back and forth through the papers. Just to add a little bit of color and more dimension, I'll probably layer these in the layout. So that's what I'm going to do now. I already cut this one like you saw. So I'm just going to try to figure out which ones I want to add. I know for a fact I want to add one of these maps, so I'm going to use my Stampin' Up! 1 3/4 punch, which I think will work. And if not, you know, it'll be close to it. Alright, so this is the finished project. I hope you enjoyed watching the process. As you saw, I kind of played around with things here and there. I added some mini glue dots in certain areas just to kind of tack some things down before I decided to glue everything together. I usually like doing that because I find that if I glue everything down at once, I just come back to it and then decide that I don't want one thing here and I want to move it around, and then I'll have to like rip everything off. I'd rather just put a little bit of glue in a little spot and then just play around with the placement of things. So the mini glue dots really helped me a lot with that. You saw the dimension I added using the pop-up glue dots. And then you saw that technique that I usually do with my raw chipboard using the Lindy Stamp Gang products, which is I take a spray and then I spray some color on the actual, letters in this case, and then I drizzle just a little bit of the embossing powder just to get a little bit of texture on the actual letters. So let me zoom in a little bit just so you can see. And I like it because I don't like covering the whole letter with embossing powder. I just like to drizzle just a little bit just so I can get that little marble look. I really like that, and I do it a lot. If you've seen my other tutorials, you've seen this technique numerous times. I just love it. I also sprayed some Lindy Stamp Gang product right here just to accentuate the word first, since this is about her first airplane flight. The picture you might be familiar with if you are a follower of mine on Instagram. I'll have the link down below if you want to watch some of my other vacation pictures of the trips that we took recently. This is one of them, and I really wanted to scrap it right away because this was her first time on the airplane ever. So it was pretty cool, and I love how this journaling came out. I used vellum, as you see here, and I actually printed this on my computer, and then as soon as it came out of my printer is an inkjet printer, I sprinkled some of the Lindy Stamp Gang embossing powder, and this one was the Magic Moon Pearls, which gives like a little pearlescent look to it. I just wanted the text to be a little shiny, shimmery, and I also wanted the ink not to smear on the vellum, so this is a perfect technique to achieve that. And I added a lot of veneers, wood veneers from Studio Calico. I really like those. I'm kind of addicted. And all the little planes went really well with the basic gray paper collection. And I love doing the splatter technique here with the Lindy Stamp Gang spray. And the reason why I use the peacock color that you saw me using is because since this paper collection already has a little bit of teal, little aqua colors here and there, I wanted the splatters to be white, but I wanted like a little bit of iridescence of teal, and that's what I achieved using that particular spray. You're going to see the details on the pictures at the end of this video. I'm also going to have links in the bottom in the description box of the blog post where this layout is, displayed, and also you'll get the links of all the other people that are participating in the blog hop. I hope you hop along and go and see what everybody else created. And if you have any questions, please remember you can leave me a comment down below and I will answer you as soon as possible. I hope again that you enjoyed it. Please give a thumbs up in this video if you like video tutorials, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.